All right. Good morning. I'm not sure which channel I want to put this on. I think this is going to be for the strangers. But if not, and I get something else that I want, then no. But for now, hello strangers. I wanted to talk about Twilight, because not a lot of people are talking about that book series anymore, and I think that there needs to be some type of defense for Twilight from someone who is not a fan of Twilight. So, I have read 2 whole pages of Twilight, and I have seen all the movies multiple times. Last one's my favorite. And I really wanted people to stop harping on it so much. Because Twilight is not as bad of a story as people blame it for. Now, it's not something that I'm wanting to read ever in my life. Like, I have absolutely no interest in this book series, but I will watch the movies if I'm with someone who wants to watch them. Like, I'm not going to deny someone the opportunity to watch Twilight just because I'm not a fan of it. But that being said, I want to defend Twilight a little bit, because I think that it's not what everyone says it is. I myself am a really big fan of Anne Rice's vampires, like Interview with the Vampire and Vampire Lestat, stuff like that. And I think those vampires would fit well in Twilight. They would be different kinds of vampires. Like, there would be some, like, kind of way that it would have to be explained off. But it could be done. It could be done fairly easily, just due to the fact that biology works that way. You could just say, oh, it's some mutation, some sparkle in the sunlight, and some are ignited in the sunlight. Yeah. See, that's a really easy explanation. And anyway, I wanted to bring up one really big thing. And yeah, Edward creeping on Bella and watching her sleep is messed up. But very few people harp on that as much as they harp on the vampires being all sparkly and having all of these things and whatnot. And I'm like, I kind of see where they're coming from, but then other times I'm like, oh, get over it. You're talking about a fantasy creature and someone who's... It's like, to me, the biggest insult that I can say towards Twilight, other than Edward's really creepy, is it's boring. Like, that's it. It's just a really boring story. And yeah, they got some interesting things, but I feel as though there's a lot of untapped potential in Twilight that, I feel like there could have been something really good come out of Twilight eventually. But I don't think people should harp on the fantasy elements because, well, the fantasy isn't as hard set as people think it is. Like, if it was, Harry Potter would have been ripped to shreds. Stories like White Cat. I think it's called White Cat. Or Red Glove. Like anything by Holly Black would have been ripped to shreds. Because, well, it doesn't fit into how fantasy elements work based on previous stories. And I love Holly Black. Like, I may not remember the name of the book just because it's been so long, but yeah, Holly Black is great with urban fiction or urban fantasy. Easily a highly underrated author who does have some books that got traction, like Spiderwick Chronicles. But I feel like she went to the same path as Philip Pullman, where got some mainstream success but was shot down. But Twilight got mainstream success and just took off. And I feel like her haters aren't grasping at what she actually did. She created a new world for fantasy to sit in. Yeah, you have the shapeshifters and you have the vampires, but you can do so much with the world that she's already set up. And like there have been other stories that did something similar to that, like Paranormalcy. If you haven't read that book, go check it out. It is fantastic. And so I don't think that Twilight is this terrible story that needs to be ridiculed. I think it's a bland story that got popular. And there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of bland stories have become popular. And plenty of fantastic stories have gone under the rug. But at the end of the day, I don't think that there's any true problem with Twilight other than Edward being a creeper and very possessive. And the romantic elements of Twilight are garbage. I'm just going to say that here. But the world has potential. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for listening to me rant about Twilight for like 9 or so minutes. I think I am going to put this on the Strangers channel. But I want there to be a bit more. I know I said I was going to post last Sunday and I never got around to it. But I want you guys to really think about what stories you enjoy and what you want to see get big. And why don't you guys tell me about some obscure stories? I'm going to leave you guys with some that I really enjoy that I haven't really brought up. There's Paranormalcy. There's the Chicagoland Vampires. There's the Kara Gillian series. And Mercy Thompson. All of these are either urban fantasy or young adult fantasy. And I think that they are all fantastic stories in their own right. But please, either in your next videos or within the comments down below, tell me about some stories that you guys enjoy that are potentially just underrated or underappreciated. They don't have to be fantasy, by the way. I'm a huge fan of other stories, whether they're classics or not, fantasy or not. I think that the Pern series is really good, despite the fact that I didn't really enjoy the first book. I thought it was good. Just, yeah. But Anne McCaffrey is the queen of dragons in my eyes, so yeah. The world that she created makes so much sense. And yeah, so I'll leave it there. I've spent another like 2 or so minutes just blathering about it. But yeah, go ahead, tell me what you think of whatever stories are out there. And I think I'm gonna do something similar in a video in the future. But as for now, I hope you all have a fantastic week. I'll see y'all in your videos this week. And don't forget to be awesome. Bye-bye.